All right, hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to the channel. I did not film an intro to this video because I was on the phone when it was happening. So don't have the intro. But what I am using is kind of what I call this folksy looking paper because it feels like it could be very Bavarian-ish. And I'm going to use that as my background. It is going to be quite the busy background, but I am completely okay with that. I'm going to trim down that purple piece right there. It's going to give me a nice strip. And then I had pulled out some other papers. I thought I was going to use this mint green sack on the layout, but ultimately it did not make it onto the page. I've got this striped bit right there, which might be my favorite pattern in this Chamel collection. It might be. Some of the patterns are definitely not my cup of tea, but the good thing is there is a back side to them that I do really like. So yeah, like I said, some of them, but the other ones, they got some back sides that are nice. And now I've got Baby Got Back running through my head. So I'm going to put this striped paper down right here. It is a busy pattern over top of a busy pattern. I did think in my head to mat every single thing in white, just like I've matted every single thing in black before. But ultimately I decided not to do that. I thought that that would be a little bit much. So the three photos here are of three storefronts down in Leavenworth. One is the Gingerbread Factory. One is the Nutcracker Museum, which we walked into the inside of the Nutcracker Museum, and you could see some things for purchase. They had a couple little things right there that you could check out, but honestly, we weren't going to pay out the wazoo to go look at some nutcrackers. And that might seem ridiculous to some people, and that's okay. You can think that, but I was like, I'm not paying that much to go look at nutcrackers. Anyway, and that third one says the Cheesemonger's Shop on it. So yeah, we got some things, you guys. I am going to trim down this little pink scrap that came out of the 6x8 paper pad. I'm going to faux it so that it looks like it went completely behind the photos, but you and I both know that it did not because you're watching this little video right here. I decided that I was going to decorate with some flowers because of the flowers in the background, and flowers are definitely a part of the motifs and themes over here in Leavenworth. So I am using my floral die cuts, and I'm also using my my leafy die cuts, and I'm just trying to figure out where exactly I want the florals to be, where exactly I think they are going to give the most bang for the buck. I'm trying to pull out colors that coordinate with what I have going on the layout, and then I'm trying to pull out florals that kind of coordinate with each other. So not all of these florals are from the same collection, so they're not going to be all exactly the same, but if I can get them to be similar, then that will give me all the joy. So I do change out the kind of leaves that I'm using, and I turn it into these guys, which feels a lot better, right? Like that other leaf that I had down here on that bottom cluster wasn't feeling very good. It felt wrong, right? It just felt like I was like, ooh, you're trying to force this, girl. So I pulled that off, and some of the florals here I'm going to put on some pop foams, and all that is going to do is just give me the slightest little bit of lift off of the page. It's going to give me a bunch of texture. There's a lot of implied texture because of all of the patterns. I do feel like the more patterns you have on the page, the more textured your page looks. So if you have a layout that is basically just cardstock and you don't have much more than that. It feels like a very flat layout. And this is a very flat layout. It just has some lift with some fun foam and some pop foam. So not super big lift. There's no mixed media on it. There's no fabric. There's none of that stuff. So it makes it feel very, very textured. So now I've got that going. I was like, oh, I forgot about that little green sack there. Am I going to be able to figure out a place for it to go? And no, I'm not. Let's be real. It is not going to make it onto the layout. Trying to, hold some things around, see if I want to add any more little bits of florals and trying to figure out, where my title's going to go and what that is going to look like. So I pull out my Sizzix Limelight. Now this is one of my favorite fonts from way back in the day. And I am pulling out the letters to spell sites. And look at me, I'm using that butterfly foam. So this butterfly foam is not adhesed. It has no stickiness to it. But I do cut it up and I'm going to basically make my own thickers. I tried to go through with the Sizzix machine. It did not like it. So I tried the cutting mat and the embossing mat. And the only thing that did was emboss the letters into the foam. So that didn't work for me. So I put away the little sidekick and then I went off to the big girl Sizzix machine and used that to cut out the letters. So that is what you see right here. And I went ahead and spelled out the word sites. So now I'm going to go ahead and use my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. I'm going to go ahead and dollop some glue on there and get that stuck down. Now, I am determined to use these little flat metal things. It just felt very weird and wrong on this layout, probably because I did not have enough metallic already. I feel like that's going to have to be something that maybe has some brads or something like that on it. I also tried to bring in these little glitter hearts, and ultimately they felt very wrong as well. Not that the glitter heart was the wrong thing, because there is gold glitter on some of that pattern paper, and I think gold glitter is something you could add to just about anything. But since this layout actually is so flat and it's got mostly implied texture and only a little bit of lift with the foam, it just felt out of place. It felt like that was chunky and there was nothing else chunky on this layout. So I went ahead and put those glitter hearts back because, that wasn't going to happen. I'm trying out some other things that I have from this kit, doing some label trying out, doing some banners and little bits like that. And it was kind of a struggle, right? Like I wanted to decorate this layout more, but there isn't a lot of places to go ahead and do that. But I did decide a couple of flat stickers would be just the thing. And I bring those in that green color because that's a pretty bold pattern. It covers up a lot of the striped paper, even though there is that bold green color in the top of the striped paper as well. I'm going to use up all of my purple enamel dots. And even though none of the purples on here are the exact same shade, I think that they're close enough. And with the variety of the other colors, they all just kind of coordinate well together. This is just a bright, fun layout, and I am a fan. And then I was looking for some letter stickers to spell out something about sites, but I decided instead to use one of the pre-printed words to go ahead and finish off that title. So I think this is where I'm going to leave it. I might add some splatter here. I am not exactly sure, you guys. I don't remember if I splatter or not. I'm just trying to pull in things to see if I need to add anything else or if this layout is going to be good as it is. I do decide to bring in a little label sticker right here because why not? It's not a whole heck of a lot of bulk that is adding to the page, and it's just a little tiny bit of color. And I do the same thing over on the left-hand side, just because it felt like it needed it here. I'm going to add Leavenworth there, and then I'm going to put the date on that top one. And then that is going to do it for this layout, you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for joining me as we are embarking on the Never Ending Kit. And make sure you check out the Scrapping Reflections website for a sale on American Crafts products. You're going to want to use the code NEVER, N-E-V-E-R. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will see you guys again real soon for another video.